Yo, turn me up, yo. Okay. The world is what we make it when we visualize. It's in your eyes. Realize. Stay alert. See your inbox and don't blink. Don't blink. Check it out. Yo, go Phinc. Go.
So how did you learn to make sense of all the different abilities and talents that you have?
That's a nice question. Yeah, so I'll first tell the story. And it's a strange story because I had a friend who asked me a while ago, long time ago actually, asked me a question or a question like this, and it was in answering that person that I found answers to my own life. Now, she was a person of many talents, and she had a lot of things that kept coming to her, and she believed very strongly that all these things were going to be a part of her life, right? She could do so much, and she was really talented, right? And she was passionate about all these things. And then when she asked this question, you know, in our conversation, I found out that there was, regardless of what it is that she wanted to do, there was a common thread that ran through everything. There was just that one thing that regardless of what it is that she was doing was where her heart was, right? And it was so funny the way it hit me. And I realized, you know what? This response that I had given her, I should apply it to myself. You know, ask myself, what is that one thread that runs through my entire life, right? In which, regardless of what talent or what skills or ability it is that I have, you know, how do I make sense of these things? Because I do understand that so many people who have talents and multiple abilities, multiple potentials, if you would like to call it, are usually really burdened with the fact that they have all of these things and they do not know when to use them, when it's time to use them, which is more important than the other. It really doesn't matter. What really matters is understanding that common thread. So take, for example, for me, one of the common threads that I realized that I had was the fact that I understood and I knew I knew patterns, I can understand patterns, right? I'm a pattern understander, if there's anything like that, right? And because I understand patterns and understand flow, I understand processes, that's my life, that's a common thread. Whether it is photography, design, music, whatever it is that I apply myself to do, it really is always, my success in these things come from my understanding of pattern, process, flow. Do you get me? Right? And as a result, I found out that for everybody that I applied this same thinking to, you know, I just ask, what are the different things that you do, that you love to do, that you want to do? And then I go to the next question, which is, what is it that you want to get out of life? Or what is it that excites you when, you know, you are given an opportunity to do something? And every time people ask or answer those questions, I see how someone who has the ability to sew, to sing, to whatever, regardless of the combinations that they have, I can see how these things connect, how this thing flows, or rather runs through, how this thread runs through, and how they can apply, knowing that common thread, always consistently apply them to these things, and they will win. They will always win. When you understand what your common thread is, you will always win. You will always know what it is to do to make the most of whatever skill, ability, talent that you have.
So how can a person observe their skills? How far above their skills can they look down and then realize that, okay, so this is the common thread? Are there a set of questions they can go through to help guide them?
Yes, so some people first, of course, know what their skills are and the different things that they're passionate about are. But so a good question, a good place to start is to first say, what are the 4, 5, 7, 70, 700 things that I love to do? You know, list them out, right? And then when you list them out, ask yourself the question, what about each of these ones, one, excites me? What about these things do I know how to do well? What about these things do I do differently or better than everyone else? And when you answer those 3 questions, you will find out that there is something that might just keep coming up regardless of the thing that you're doing, right? So when you say, what about this excites me? I love helping people. I love helping people. I love helping people. That is a common thread, right? You could find out, you could ask yourself, you know, what about these things, you know, do I do differently? I understand pattern. I understand pattern. I understand pattern. I understand pattern. My point is, ask these 3 questions, right? And see which of these produce something similar across everything. That pretty much is the common thread, right? And every time you're achieving stuff along the common thread, you will find out that your excitement levels are not just only high, but you will be doing what it is that you know within your heart you're meant to be doing with each and every one of these things, right? So know that there's always a common thread, right? Know that each of us have, I think everyone has multiple abilities, right? But there's a common thread that runs through our entire lives. Know that, and then make the most of everything that it is that you can do.